This next tune we're going to look at is called If I Needed You by Townes Van Zandt. And it's a great one for opening up a wedding, making people weep, and the second or third date. Don't really want to do this one the first time. Believe you me. Believe you me. Alright, I'm going to run through the whole tune and we're going to break down each section. Here we go. 3, 4. If I needed you, would you come to me? Would you come to me and ease my pain? If you needed me, I would come to you. I would swim the seas for to ease your pain. In the night forlorn, oh, the morning's born, and the morning shines with the lights of love. You will miss sunrise if you close your eyes. The night would break my heart in two. Lady's with me now, since I showed her how to lay her lily hand in mine. Looping will agree, she's a sight to see, a treasure for the poor to find. If I needed you, would you come to me? Would you come to me for to ease my pain? If you needed me, I would come to you. I would swim the seas and ease your pain. Alright, let's break this down. And I think the hardest part of this song is the intro. So let's look at that first. What I'm going to do with my left hand, by the way I'm capoed on the 5th fret, is I'm going to grab just the bass of a G chord. And I start off, and this first measure of the intro is my typical picking pattern for the whole piece. And what I'm doing in that first measure is thumb, thumb 1, thumb 2, thumb 1. So I'm alternating the bass from the E and the D string, and my first and second finger are planted on the G and B string. So again, first measure, 3, 4 is thumb, thumb 1, thumb 2, thumb 1. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch my E and my B string at the same time, and I'm going to hammer on my first finger to the B string. Okay, so after that, I'm going to alternate the bass, thumb 2, thumb 1, thumb. That's the second measure. Third measure, I'm going to stay on this G chord, and I'm going to grip the bass with my thumb. Then I'm going to pinch both the D and the G at the same time. Pinch, middle, then thumb 2, thumb 1. And 2, I mean the second finger, and when I do that, I'm going to grab the first fret on the B string with my left hand. Here's that third measure. 3, 4. Now what I do in my left hand is I grab the 3 on the B string as compared to capo, and I pinch my E and my B at the same time. Then thumb 1, then back to first finger in left hand, thumb 2, thumb 2. Okay, so those are kind of tricky. Here's the whole first 4 bars of that intro, real slow. 3, 4. Now my next 4 measures, let's look at those. I'm going to start with the same chord, and I'm going to grip thumb, then pinch the D and G again with my thumb in first, then second finger, thumb, pinch 2. My first finger on my left hand is going back to this first fret, and I'm going to roll thumb 2, thumb 1. So here's that measure, 3, 4. My third finger on my left is going to go back to the 3rd fret, pinch, then thumb 1, then thumb 2, thumb 1, the open B string. This puts me into my C chord next, and I'm just going to grab, starting out, the bass, and I'm going to go thumb on the A, thumb on the G, then I'm going to hammer on 0 to 2 on the D string, use my thumb in my right hand, then thumb 2. So that's. Then I'm going to grab my D over F sharp, like this, and I'm going to do the same pattern we've been doing in that very first measure. Thumb, thumb 1, thumb 2, thumb 1. Now for that very last note, I'm going to lift up my middle finger to get the open G. Let's try this next 4 measures really slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. In the very last measure, I'm going to go back to my G shape, and I'm going to pinch the E and the B string. Then thumb 1, then thumb, pull off the 1 on the B string. So that second half is. So I'm going to thumb, pull off, alternate first fingers. Kind of tricky. Here's that last measure a bunch of times. 3, 4. It's real hard to get that pull off and the alternate bass happening at the same time. As you pull off and you reach the open on the B string, your thumb also has to be on the D string at the same time. Alright, here's the whole intro real slow. 3, 4. Alright, kind of tough, but really sounds great. Let's look at the verse and, the chorus and the verse, which are the same progression. Now as far as my right hand finger picking pattern, I'm going to do the same thing throughout the whole tune, and that's thumb, thumb 1, thumb 2, thumb 1. So my G, I'm starting with my thumb on the E string, then alternating the bass to the D string, then first finger, then thumb 2, thumb 1. On my C chord, I do the same thing, only my thumb starts on the A string, otherwise there's no difference. And my D over F sharp, we're not going to use a D chord, we're going to use a D over F sharp, and it looks like this. This is how I grab it. There's other ways too, but the way that I do it is my first finger goes on the 2nd fret E string, my middle finger goes on the 2nd fret G string, and my ring goes on the 3rd fret B string. And my picking pattern is the same as the G chord. Thumb, thumb, one, thumb, two, thumb, one. Some people grab that D over F sharp by grabbing a D just normally and wrapping their thumb over. That works too if that's easier for you. As far as the chorus and the verse go, all I'm doing is I'm doing the same progression over and over. So I've got G, one measure, two measures, three measures, four measures, five, then C, D over F sharp, two measures of G, two. And then I repeat, four measures of G, two, three, four, then one more, five, to C, one over D over F sharp, then two a G. So that's the same for the chorus and the verse. After the first verse, I'm going to go right back into that intro. And I'm going to add one measure of G, or more if you want, in order to regroup to get into that last verse. And when I do the intro, I'm going to repeat it twice. The first time I don't put an extra bar of G to buffer at the end, only on the second one to get back into that singing verse. Then I have another chorus, we already know how to do that. At the end of the chorus, I'm going to tack on a little ending, and I'm going to do one measure of G to C to D over F sharp, back to G. And just let it hang out. Okay, that's If I Needed You by Townes Van Zandt.